going to find is that pretty much all of them think that there's a high probability that something's going to happen here in the short term. I mean, we're talking about the downtrend of what's been happening in crypto in general, basically being on the verge of ending. And one XRP chart analyst said, and I quote, "Time to lock in." Hopefully time to lock in some profits. Hopefully we're about to get there. I would be shocked if this market cycle ends and we don't have some serious face-melting price action for XRP. That's the last piece of the puzzle. That's what we've been waiting for. I don't think we're going to be disappointed here. I really firmly do believe the best is yet ahead. But, almost 100% of what I'm going to cover in this video is specifically about XRP. And the reason I'm looking forward to sharing this information with you is what I've found is that frequently with the batch of XRP chart analysts that I follow, when they say the same or similar things, when there's a ton of them doing that, I find that they're usually correct. And a lot of them, I've noticed, not all of them, but a lot of them, $2.95. Earlier today, we were as high as $2.99. Don't mind seeing that, considering recent lows for XRP, but also the broader crypto market. Bitcoin here just hanging out at $111,720. It's just range-bound price action here, but it's not going to stay. Take a look at this post from Bitcoin Vector, and this is run by the same guys that run Swissblock, the on-chain analytics firm. And I think they just do fantastic work consistently. And here's what they had to say. Forget the breakout. What matters is what happens after compression breaks. Bitcoin is now pushing to reclaim the prior range lows at $112,000 to $121,000. A daily close above $112,000 would be highly significant. The real test comes at $113,600 and $115,600. If Bitcoin establishes in that zone, a bullish reversal could be in play. The structure favors the bulls. If momentum flips into the positive quadrant, the bulls will have fully regained control. And so, again, most of what I'm going to cover in this video is explicitly about XRP, but let's look for some confluence here. First of all, Bitcoin leads the markets. It always makes sense to look at Bitcoin if you're curious about what's going on with XRP anyway. You reasonably can't look at XRP in a vacuum and pretend that other elements don't matter. All of it matters here. But what's fascinating is this on-chain analytics firm, they do believe that things, so they're not promising anything, but they think that things actually look more bullish than bearish here in the short term. So that's confluence with what I'm seeing from XRP chart analysts. If you're going to start to see this trend to the upside, it only makes what analysts are expecting to happen with XRP that much more probable. Here's a post from chart analyst Mustache, and this is, he's talking about altcoins here. It's the total 2 chart, so all the coins except for Bitcoin. And here he wrote, friendly reminder of how bullish altcoins look on the 2-week chart. It's almost a copy of the last cycle, only bigger. I can't be bearish here. and so there's truth to that because the market does tend to rhyme with itself. And I just don't think we're going to be disappointed. That doesn't make any logical sense, especially when you consider what's going on in, just various macro elements. Global M2, business cycle, so on and so forth, all these things that I keep harping on in these videos, because that's what leads markets, folks. And it's creating a fantastic environment for risk on assets like stocks and crypto, and specifically XRP. Here's a post from chart analyst The Great Matsby. He's also talking about altcoins here. It's the total 2 chart. He says, total 2 is still waiting for a breakout. This is why we aren't exploding higher yet, so more patience is required. Flip 1.63 trillion to support, and then we can have a little more fun. Now, and XRP is included in this chart, of course, this shows that we are at that crucial moment that I'm seeing cited by so many chart analysts. There's too many charts out here right at key levels and just given the macro factors that I keep talking about, it's just crazy to think that when this thing breaks, it's going to be down rather than up. I just don't believe that's remotely probable. And the chart analysts that I follow don't think so either. So take it for what it's worth, but I think we're going way, way, way higher rather than way, way, way lower. Even if there is some negative volatility in the short term, I'm not saying that can't happen, and neither are these analysts. But even if the market's a little lower by the time you're watching this, I'm just telling you, I don't think it's going to matter. This thing is going to climb way higher. Here's an XRP price chart. This is from chart analyst Credible Crypto. And this afternoon he wrote, this is looking solid so far. As long as the local green zone holds, I am looking for continuation up to our range highs to complete the structure. And so he's talking about maybe, and this is why I said it could go lower. He's acknowledging this as well, but maybe as low as $2.85. He's saying if you hold above there, he thinks that you're going to see this continuation of XRP to higher levels, maybe close to about $3.20 in the short term. And again, today I just saw tons of analysts, thinking, yeah, actually XRP is pretty freaking well positioned for some short-term positive price action. Here's a post from chart analyst Crypto Wizard. This is a Bitcoin price chart. And he says, holding the previous highs. Everyone is panicking, but so far Bitcoin has retested its previous range high and bounced. A bullish weekly will be a major reversal signal. The fight is on. So happy to see that, and even more happy to see this. This is what he had to say about XRP. This is from Crypto Wizard. He says, let's go XRP. The downtrend is on the verge of ending. And folks, he posted this afternoon, 1:42 p.m. Central. He says, XRP has been trading in the downtrend for 49 days, but it is now breaking out of its lower high trend line. If successful, $3.65 is next. Time to lock in. So he's not outright promising that something specifically is going to happen, but you're going to see the trend as I keep going through this video. Lots of optimism from these analysts, and they're all saying it at exactly the same time, which is notable to me. So he's talking about XRP getting back up to its all-time high, $3.65, and you know what's after that. Price discovery and face melting. That's what's coming next. Here's a post from chart analyst Dom. This one's about Bitcoin, and this is from this morning, 10 a.m. He says, as stated on stream, my eyes remain on one thing here. Bulls regaining the 3-month RVWAP as support. Another 2% push plus stabilize will put this in a much better position, potentially voiding the bearish setup we saw earlier this year. And here's another one from Dom. This one's about XRP. And this is also from this morning. He says, bulls kept up the pressure overnight. Notably, Coinbase seen strong buy pressure, plus 8 million net XRP into relatively thin books here. Yeah, I don't mind seeing that. You can see why analysts are bullish in the short term. And again, it's not that any of them are outright promising something specifically has to happen in the short term. And when we are talking about price action here, we're talking in terms of probability. So, of course, nothing's guaranteed. But if you had to bet one way or the other in the short term, I'd certainly bet bullish, wouldn't you? I know these chart analysts are. Here's a post from Crypto Insight UK. And this morning he simply wrote, pray for the pump. And you can see what he started here if you're looking at the screen. He's talking about XRP getting up to $9.69 in the short term if this thing is if this is finally the real deal. Yeah, that type of price action. Now, mind you, he's not saying that it would peak at $9.69 this cycle. He actually thinks it's highly probable that we're going to be peaking between $20 to $30. I know that because he said it enough. And he could be right. I don't know how high XRP is going to go when this whole market finally starts getting into like true rally form of that, the end of market cycle euphoria, but way higher here. It's going to be some multiplier of whatever the price is right now, which is a little shy $3. And nobody knows for sure is the truth. But I don't think any of these price predictions that are put out here, even in those ranges, I don't think any of them are crazy. I know maybe the more conservative expectations, like from the blockchain backer, $8 to $10, that could be true. And some people would be disappointed by that, but maybe the truth's somewhere in between. Maybe it's not going to be $8, but maybe it's not going to be $40. Maybe it is somewhere in between. Maybe it is $20. I don't know. But I don't think that most of us are going to be disappointed. The people who are buying the top, there'll always be some of those people, they'll be disappointed. But the rest of us that have been around for a while and been planning for this for a long time, I don't think we're going to be disappointed, folks. It's taken for many of us years and years and years, but we really finally are just about at that moment where we're actually going to get ours. Here's a post from chart analyst Cryptolica. This is from this morning, and he wrote, XRP next leg 100 emoji soon. And so he's saying target greater than $10. And he's been calling for that XRP $10 price level for a long, long, long time. So he's just reiterating his perspective that, yeah, we're going to hit double digits here, son. And again, that was from this morning. It's not wavering on that. And I'd say for good reason. Here's a post from chart analyst Greg Crypto. It says XRP A finishing or continuation of the throwback. If XRP can close above $2.94 with conviction and push past the 33 SMA around $3.01, we'll start to see early signs that the bulls are in control, potentially finishing the throwback. The low from September 1st could mark the bottom of this move. An additional confirmatory signal would be a close above $3.07, which aligns with the 55 SMA, and of course hitting $3.40 would be the ultimate go-go signal. However, if we show weakness in the $2.94 to $3 range, the throwback is likely to continue. So that sounds kind of in line with conceptually with what Credible Crypto is talking about. Just only in the sense that he's acknowledging there's a possibility we could go a little bit lower, but there's a real good chance that this is the moment where we proceed to the upside. So the analysis is different. I'm just saying that part. It's another analyst acknowledging we could go higher from here, actually. And I haven't been seeing a lot of that in recent days until today specifically. That's why I'm highlighting this. So again, I'll say again, I don't know for sure what's going to happen. They don't know for sure what's going to happen. It's about probability. And usually when this many analysts that I follow start thinking that a particular thing is probable, usually that's the thing that happens. Not always, because sometimes the improbable happens. But again, if you had to bet one way, which way would you go? Here's a post from Dark Defender. He says, XRP's incoming move is inevitable. There is no plan B. We will make this with A. So he thinks in the short term we're going much higher. In fact, you can see he's targeting here $5.85 in the relative short term, or in fact, this month, potentially anyway. And I don't know, no analyst can accurately and consistently predict time, and so he's not promising that here in this post. I'm just saying if you're looking at where he just drew this, he certainly acknowledged this is the type of move that can happen sooner than later. And I think that's all he's trying to get at here, which is, I say, is fair enough. But he does think XRP is going to go way higher. He keeps talking about $18 plus for this cycle. Here's a post from chart analyst Zoom, and this is the market cap XRP dominance percentage chart. It was at XRP dominance at 4.62% when he posted this just this morning. And he said, XRP breaking out and looking forward to XRP dominance closing above the falling wedge. And you can see it's starting to break out. And there are also XRP price charts that similarly look like they're breaking out. And you can see the dominance. It was surging here, obviously, as XRP hit its all-time high, $3.65 in July. And it's kind of trended down. But he's thinking it's going to break out here again. And I've seen that same pattern drawn, again, on XRP USD. And actually, I think I might have, from one of the remaining analysts up here, I think one of them actually drew that. I'm pretty sure it might be the last one. One sec here, though. Here's a post from chart analyst Ali Martinez. XRP targets $3 after breaking out of a channel. That's from this morning also. So you're seeing the recurring theme here. All these analysts acknowledging, hey, this is looking pretty good. XRP's doing a thing. And sure enough, it has been up today compared to recent days. And that could indicate that we're going to see some follow through here. Let's hope so. Fingers crossed. Here's a post from chart analyst CW from this morning. He simply said, almost short positions on XRP have been liquidated. So he means pretty much all. Short positions have been liquidated. Playing with leverage is stupid. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, as they say. I just can't imagine betting against XRP, the most powerful coin out of the top 100 coins by market cap since the election. No thanks, not interested in playing with fire. Here's a post from Aquaflow, and this is the one I was thinking of. He's actually just showing a breaking above a trend line, but still close enough. Aquaflow simply wrote, "Can we make it XRP?" And you can see he's noted, as every other analyst had noted today, that it has broken above a key level there. So, need to see some follow through, but frankly, this ain't looking too bad. And I know y'all are going to be a bit, I'm sure you're feeling very tired of the sideways price action. Look, I'm telling you folks, consolidation is great, and that precedes big moves. And since we're at the tail end of a market cycle in all likelihood, you don't have to wait through long periods of consolidation, certainly not to the same degree that you would if we were in the depths of a bear market. We don't have to wait that long. It's a virtual certainty. So I